Welcome to our exploration of the historical roots of educational psychology. This field, which bridges the gap between psychology and education, has a rich and fascinating history. Today, we'll trace its development from early philosophical ideas to the scientific approaches that shape modern classrooms. Understanding where educational psychology comes from helps us appreciate its current practices and future direction. Let's begin by looking at the earliest influences that laid the foundation for this important discipline. Educational psychology's roots can be traced back to ancient philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. They pondered questions about how people learn, the nature of knowledge, and the best ways to teach. Plato emphasized innate knowledge and the importance of reasoning, while Aristotle focused on observation and experience. These early ideas set the stage for later theories about learning and instruction, showing that the desire to understand education is as old as civilization itself. During the medieval and Renaissance periods, education became more formalized, and thinkers like Thomas Aquinas and Erasmus contributed new perspectives. Aquinas integrated religious and philosophical ideas, emphasizing moral development and the role of reason. Erasmus advocated for humanistic education, focusing on the development of the whole person. These contributions help shape the evolving understanding of how individuals learn and grow within society. Enlightenment brought a surge of interest in science and reason, profoundly impacting educational thought. Philosophers like John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau introduced ideas about the mind as a blank slate and the importance of experience in learning. Their emphasis on observation, experimentation, and individual development laid the groundwork for later scientific approaches to education and psychology. As the 19th century unfolded, education and psychology began to intersect more directly. Pioneers like Johann Pestalozzi and Friedrich Froebel emphasized hands-on learning and the importance of early childhood education. Their work introduced the idea that teaching methods should be based on how children naturally develop and learn, moving education closer to a scientific discipline. Late 19th century saw the formal birth of experimental psychology, with figures like Wilhelm Wundt establishing the first psychology laboratories. This shift allowed researchers to study learning and behavior systematically, using observation and experimentation. These methods provided a scientific basis for understanding how people learn, setting the stage for educational psychology as a distinct field. William James, often called the father of American psychology, played a crucial role in connecting psychology and education. His lectures and writings emphasized the practical application of psychological principles in the classroom. James believed that teachers should understand how students think and learn, advocating for flexible teaching methods that adapt to individual needs. His pragmatic approach influenced generations of educators and researchers. G. Stanley Hall, a student of Wundt, brought the scientific study of children to America. He founded the Child Study movement, which focused on observing and understanding children's development. Hall's work highlighted the importance of age-appropriate education and helped establish developmental psychology as a foundation for educational practice. Edward Thorndike was a pioneering figure in educational psychology. He conducted experiments on learning in animals and humans, leading to the formulation of the law of effect. Thorndike's research emphasized the role of reinforcement and practice in learning, and he advocated for the use of measurement and testing in education. His work helped establish educational psychology as a scientific discipline. John Dewey, a philosopher and educator, championed the idea of learning by doing. He believed that education should be student-centered and connected to real-life experiences. Dewey's progressive education movement emphasized critical thinking, problem-solving, and active participation. His ideas continue to influence educational psychology and classroom practice today. The early 20th century, behaviorism emerged as a dominant force in psychology. Figures like John B. Watson and B. F. Skinner argued that behavior, rather than thoughts or feelings, should be the focus of scientific study. They developed theories about how learning occurs through conditioning and reinforcement, which had a major impact on educational methods and classroom management. By the mid-20th century, the cognitive revolution shifted attention back to the mind. Psychologists like Jean Piaget and Jerome Bruner explored how children think, reason, and solve problems. Their research led to new theories about cognitive development and information processing, shaping modern educational psychology's focus on mental processes and understanding. Jean Piaget's theory of cognitive development revolutionized our understanding of how children learn. He identified distinct stages of development, each characterized by different ways of thinking. Piaget's work emphasized the importance of active exploration and discovery in learning, influencing educational practices around the world. Lev Vygotsky introduced the concept of social learning, highlighting the role of culture and interaction in cognitive development. He argued that learning is a social process, shaped by language and collaboration with others. Vygotsky's ideas about scaffolding and the zone of proximal development have become central to educational psychology. Jerome Bruner advocated for discovery learning, where students actively construct knowledge through exploration and problem-solving. He emphasized the importance of structure in learning and the role of teachers in guiding students' understanding. Bruner's work contributed to the development of constructivist approaches in educational psychology. The information processing theory compares the mind to a computer, focusing on how information is received, stored, and retrieved. This approach has helped researchers understand memory, attention, and problem-solving, leading to practical strategies for improving learning and instruction in the classroom. Humanistic psychologists like Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers emphasize the importance of personal growth, motivation, and self-actualization in learning. They believe that education should nurture the whole person, not just transmit knowledge. Their ideas have influenced approaches that prioritize student well-being and emotional development. Assessment has always been a key part of educational psychology. Early efforts focused on measuring intelligence and academic achievement, leading to the development of standardized tests. Over time, assessment methods have evolved to include a wider range of skills and abilities, reflecting a more holistic view of learning. History of educational psychology also includes the development of special education and inclusive practices. Early advocates worked to ensure that students with disabilities received appropriate support and opportunities. Today, educational psychology continues to inform strategies for meeting diverse learners' needs and promoting equity in education. Understanding what motivates students has been a central concern of educational psychology. Theories of motivation, such as intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, have shaped teaching strategies and classroom management. By recognizing the factors that drive learning, educators can create more engaging and effective learning environments. Social and emotional learning (SEL) has become an important focus in educational psychology. Research shows that students' emotional well-being and social skills are closely linked to academic success. SEL programs aim to develop self-awareness, empathy, and relationship skills, helping students thrive both in and out of the classroom. Educational psychology recognizes that culture plays a significant role in shaping how people learn. Researchers study how cultural values, traditions, and expectations influence educational experiences and outcomes. By understanding these influences, educators can create more inclusive and responsive teaching practices. Study of gender in educational psychology examines how boys and girls may experience learning differently. Researchers explore the impact of gender roles, stereotypes, and expectations on academic achievement and participation. This knowledge helps educators address biases and promote gender equity in schools. Advances in technology have transformed educational psychology. From early teaching machines to today's digital classrooms, technology offers new ways to support learning and assessment. Researchers study how digital tools affect motivation, engagement, and achievement, helping educators make informed decisions about technology use. The concept of learning styles suggests that individuals have unique ways of processing information. While the idea remains debated, it has influenced teaching methods and curriculum design. Educational psychologists continue to explore how personal preferences and strengths affect learning outcomes. Constructivism is a theory that views learning as an active, constructive process. Learners build new knowledge based on their experiences and prior understanding. This approach has led to student-centered teaching methods where exploration and discovery are encouraged in the classroom. Social constructivism builds on constructivist ideas, emphasizing the role of social interaction in learning. Students learn best when they collaborate, discuss, and share ideas with others. This perspective has influenced cooperative learning strategies and group work in classrooms. Metacognition refers to thinking about one's own thinking. Educational psychologists study how students plan, monitor, and evaluate their learning. Teaching metacognitive strategies helps students become more independent and effective learners, improving academic performance. Memory is a central topic in educational psychology. Researchers investigate how information is encoded, stored, and retrieved, and how memory affects learning. Understanding memory processes has led to strategies for improving retention and recall in educational settings. Motivational theories in educational psychology explore what drives students to learn. Concepts like self-determination, goal orientation, and expectancy value theory help explain why some students are more engaged and persistent than others. These insights inform teaching practices that foster motivation and achievement. Effective classroom management is essential for creating a positive learning environment. Educational psychologists study strategies for promoting good behavior, preventing disruptions, and building respectful relationships. These approaches help teachers support student learning and well-being. Assessment and evaluation are critical for measuring student progress and guiding instruction. Educational psychologists develop and refine tools for assessing knowledge, skills, and attitudes. These methods help teachers identify strengths and areas for improvement, ensuring that all students have the support they need to succeed. Educational psychology recognizes that every learner is unique. Researchers study individual differences in intelligence, personality, learning styles, and background. By understanding these differences, educators can tailor instruction to meet the needs of all students. Gifted and talented education focuses on identifying and supporting students with exceptional abilities. Educational psychologists develop strategies for challenging gifted learners and nurturing their talents. This area of research ensures that all students have opportunities to reach their full potential. The study of learning disabilities is a key part of educational psychology. Researchers investigate the causes and characteristics of difficulties in reading, writing, math, and other areas. early identification and intervention help students overcome challenges and succeed in school. Multicultural education recognizes the value of diversity in the classroom. Educational psychologists study how cultural backgrounds influence learning and develop strategies for creating inclusive environments. This approach helps all students feel respected and supported. Parental involvement is a significant factor in student success. Educational psychologists examine how family support and engagement influence learning outcomes. Encouraging strong homeschool partnerships benefits students academically and emotionally. Peers play an important role in learning and development. Educational psychologists study how friendships, group dynamics, and peer pressure affect academic achievement and behavior. Understanding these influences helps educators foster positive peer relationships in schools. Teacher effectiveness is a major focus in educational psychology. Researchers investigate what makes great teachers, from instructional strategies to classroom climate. Professional development and ongoing support help educators continually improve their practice. The overall climate and environment of a school influence student learning and well-being. Educational psychologists study factors like safety, relationships, and school culture. Creating a positive school climate supports academic achievement and personal growth. Educational psychology informs policy and reform efforts aimed at improving schools. Researchers analyze the impact of laws, standards, and initiatives on teaching and learning. Their insights help shape effective policies that benefit students and educators alike. Educational psychology is a global field with researchers and practitioners working around the world. Comparing educational systems and practices across cultures provides valuable insights into what works best for different learners. This global perspective enriches our understanding of teaching and learning. Today, educational psychology continues to evolve, embracing new research and technology. Topics like online learning, neuroeducation, and personalized instruction are at the forefront. By staying informed about current trends, educators can better meet the needs of today's students. Looking ahead, educational psychology will continue to address emerging challenges and opportunities. Researchers are exploring topics like artificial intelligence, mental health, and equity in education. The field's ongoing commitment to understanding and improving learning ensures its relevance for generations to come. Conclusion: the historical roots of educational psychology reveal a dynamic and evolving field. From ancient philosophy to modern science, each era has contributed new insights into how people learn and grow. By understanding this rich history, we gain a deeper appreciation for the principles and practices that shape education today. Educational psychology's legacy continues to inspire educators, researchers, and students around the world.